Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Touched and Empowered. So for whatever reason, I keep hitting the HBO Max button on my remote. So if you hear the HBO thing go off in the background, my bad. But on today's subject is we're going to talk about relationships. It's so broad. We're going to talk about the interwoven dynamics of relationships. I want to say that people don't really talk about, like, you can have platonic relationships.
Yes, you can have a relationship with somebody that you care about, that you love, but it's not a romantic love.
Yeah,
It's a best friend love. It's a caring for community love. Could be any of these other categories.
yeah.
It's the context of the relationship is what the important thing is when you're talking to other people that you have relationships with.
Exactly. So I wanted to I was telling Katie today about my day. I went to go snowboarding with my family and one of my best friends from high school. I haven't seen this guy in a while, and we thought about snowboarding together, but we never did. So, 15 years later, it's cool.
Yep.
Him and his wife and their baby boy took an Airbnb up here, and he singly went to snowboard. And I was like, I thought you were bringing your wife. It's fine. I like his wife. It's fine.
She
But
just
what I
wasn't snowboarding and with the infant.
she was like, I'm not snowboarding. I'm so sorry. Like, and I went, I get it. I get it. I get it. So I go and, we're snowboarding, and it had me reflect back on high school. We were talking about relationships in high school and how I always had 4 guy best friends. It was usually just me and 4 other guy best friends. And I was the friend to help them when they messed up.
Well, yeah, because
In the relationships.
you translated girlfriend for them.
Yeah, I was like, oh, let's help you not do that again.
Hmm.
Let's see how we can help you fix that. Let me also be your barometer if they're crazy or not. I promise you, I got you. And I'm gonna also tell them as well, like, there's something that you're doing that's making them go crazy. There's like an unhealthy habit right there.
Right.
You should fix that. Or break up, whatever you want to do.
Well, the important thing is with any relationship is, at least as I've mentioned before, communication is always key. Um, because we as much as we think we're projecting our thoughts so other people know what we're thinking, that's not the case.
Right. And it's also good as a friend to, you can project onto them what they're doing or what they're saying or how they're thinking, but as their friend, you're the one to ask the questions,
Right.
and the objective, neutral questions.
Yeah, using neutral language, using or asking the questions in a way that are not judgmental.
Exactly. And you take away your perspective completely, actually, unless they ask. So that was something that I always understood is like, unless they ask you for your perspective, or there's a moment when you can tell they don't know how to ask you for your perspective, that's when you offer it.
Hmm.
But understanding your friends in the situation of, for instance, my best friend and his current wife, I actually helped him with this proposal.
Yay.
Yay, best friend points. Um, and I was telling him, okay, she'll love this. That was really cool that you made that. That's awesome. Just giving the objective understanding, and then making sure I'm putting myself in the shoes of the person that he does XYZ activities with.
Right.
Doing that helps. I
Yeah.
didn't tell him anything about what I would want because it wasn't going to work.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we do as friends and as we do as family members when we have a family member come to us with what I would call a relationship crisis or a relationship concern. And one of the things that I found was asking a simple question at the beginning of the conversation. What response are you looking for? Are you just wanting to vent and me being an ear? Do you want me to reflect back what I'm hearing, or do you want me to play devil's advocate and argue the opposite?
So that's interesting that you asked that because maybe Jersey's just a weird state. I don't know. Usually, hometown friends from New Jersey, at least the ones that I grew up with in that specific pocket of
Mm-hmm.
age, they will tell you like, "Hey, I need your help right now. I need this," and they'll tell you like, "I need
Right.
space. I need you to hold space for me. I need advice." Or they'll send me a picture and be like, "What do I do?"
Well, but again, slight age indifference here. That was not something that I was taught growing up. In fact, I had to learn when it came to having conversations with my mom to ask if she had time available, ask if she could hold space so I could vent, and to tell her that I was not looking for her to fix my problem. I just wanted to vocalize to get this out of my head so I could process and figure out the answer myself.
Right.
And
And
there are times that my mom would be able to hold space for me to do that. And then there are times that my mom forgets and goes into problem solving mode. And that's just how my mom is. So it forced me to make sure that when I needed someone to listen, to ask if the person was available. Do they have the brain space? Do they have the time? Do they have the capability? Because I didn't want to put a burden on them if they were in the middle of 30 some other little projects to stop everything and be able to help me.
yeah, that's fair.
Because
I do
that
that
just
with you.
add that just well, yeah, but you and I also we had that communication. We set those rules up in place at the beginning that, for example, when you send me messages on Instagram, you know that I'm not going to respond right away.
Yes.
But if you send me a message via text message, I respond a lot quicker because I know that that's the system that we created.
Oh yeah.
And we do still
Smart.
check in with each other. It's like, hey, you got 5 minutes, or are you free later for a phone call? So then that way we can be there to support each other as we need it.
Oh yeah. And
But
another
again,
thing that
those are things that I never did growing up.
right. And like don't get me wrong, I didn't the last 5 years, maybe I used to just spew on people. I don't know. Or so I had specific people that I would go to for specific things that I know that they would give me.
Hmm.
For instance, I need that friend that will help me laugh at me
Yeah.
because sometimes I just do things that I need to laugh at with a friend to laugh with me so I just don't feel too stupid. Like this is one of them. This is one of those friends.
Right.
My best friend from home. Or or there's sometimes I need somebody like I need perspective help. Help me
Yes.
understand this. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm just like taking from them. It's I kind of understood that I've already built that type of relationship.
Yeah. And if you've been in a relationship with someone for a long period of time, you know you are able to pick up on signs when they are and are not able to hold space for you.
Oh yeah, my mom.
Hmm.
I love my mom. I
I love
do.
my mom too, but I
I
also
love
know
my
she's
mom.
not always the best person for me to vent to.
For certain subjects, yes.
Yes. Certain subjects, yes, but
When
not
there's like a
everything.
yeah,
But not
and when
everything.
there's like a not everything. That's and then when there's an urgency, my
Mhm.
mom can hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
That's when everything, like I can already tell on the other side of the line, she drops a plate. What's wrong?
And I'm glad that people have the capability of finding these kinds of relationships in their lives because holding everything in doesn't serve.
I think we had a conversation about having like a roster of 10 people that you call.
Right. It was either 5 or 10 people, I don't remember. But yeah, we were talking before about our primary contacts as to who to call for this, that, the other thing. And it's continually evolving.
Yes, my list has changed
Yeah,
drastically since then, actually.
because we build new relationships or we strengthen existing relationships, and some relationships we have to let go of.
In my 30s.
Yeah, you youngin.
I love how I put the peace sign up with two fingers. In my 30s, I have learned that you just strengthen relationships. Like you just out of nowhere a relationship that you had once upon a time that wasn't that strong before. Come here, baby. Come love mama. Like my dog.
Hmm.
It just gets stronger. Like for instance, my best friend came up to snowboard with me in high school. We honestly we call quite often. All right, we don't call quite often. We call each other, and it's like we
Hmm.
picked up where we left, like left
Yep.
off. Things haven't really changed, except for the fact that the proposal was successful.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have one friend that I've known since third grade, and she and we don't talk on a regular basis. In fact, it's been over a year since she and I actually had a conversation. But I also know that if I messaged her and said, "Hey, you want to get together for coffee and catch up?" we would coordinate schedules and get together for coffee and catch up. And I do believe that if she sent me a 911 text, I would drop everything possible and go help her if I could.
Oh my gosh, same. Yeah, I have
And
like
she did this. Oh shoot, she drove down to. I was living in Virginia when Austin was born. She drove to Virginia and stayed for 2 weeks after Austin was born when I was first home from the hospital, so I wouldn't be by myself while I was still recovering from my C-section. And I didn't even ask. It was just like she's like, "Oh, you had the baby. Great. I'm on my way."
see that's sweet. Yeah, I have random friends pop up when I need them too.
Hmm.
Like without me recognizing it. Like I had this one friend from high school as well. We played lacrosse together. She helped me move in California once. And then I had another friend. I had two friends from elementary school
Hmm.
that will, anytime I'm back in town in Edison, New Jersey, they'll call me and be like, "Hey, do you want to catch up for dinner? Are you in town for the?" And I'm like, "I can do this. I can. Let's go." Like, and it's kind of nice. I'm like, "Oh, I went ice skating with one. The other one we talked about relationships.
Maybe it's just this time of year that everyone wants to catch up and talk about relationships and stuff like that.
It's when people are off."
That's true. People have a little bit more free time because they're taking time off to spend with their families for the holidays or for end of year celebrations or New Year celebrations.
See, I love my family, but Midnight and I have been banished to the basement.
I almost didn't see her sitting there on the couch. She's blending in
She's
so
blending in with
well.
the couch. My
Hmm.
baby, she's asleep. But yeah, I'm the youngest sibling, so I get the youngest sibling treatment. It's humbling.
I'm I'm sure that it is because from The other standpoint being the oldest, it's also humbling when you get the oldest sibling treatment.
And it shapes our relationships in a pinwheel after that.
It adds to the story arc.
Yes. It tells you why you have more platonic friends than, than not.
True, and it helps define who we are as individuals. It helps to define the relationships that we have. It helps provide us with perspective on how we want to evolve these relationships and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah. You know why I had four guy friends in high school? Because I had four sisters.
And you needed to balance out the
I
hormones.
needed something. I needed something to
Well,
balance out those hormones.
it's funny because I was talking to somebody at a winter solstice celebration. And at the celebration, I was the youngest person there. And one of the ladies was like, "Well, how do you know the person who was hosting?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're friends with my mom." And they're like, "And you're here?" And I said, "No, you don't understand. I've always hung out with people my mom's age and older because that's who I felt comfortable with when I was younger. I didn't get along with kids my own age." And they're like, "Oh, you must have a really old soul." I said, "I must have something. I'm just odd." And of course everyone laughed and we had a good time about it. But the truth of the matter is that we gravitate towards those that we have similarities with. And yes, I did grow up fast. Austin, my son, grew up fast, but he is still more comfortable hanging out with people his own age.
My sisters, they saw my friend pool at one
Hmm.
point. They're like, "We're so sorry we grew you up so fast." Because my sister, my sisters are 10 years older than me,
Yeah.
right? So it's either I have these friends that also old souls,
Hmm.
mature old souls that I like to call, or do you like that caveat?
Or, yeah, we like the caveat.
Or for whatever reason, I gravitate towards people 15, 13 years older than me
Hmm.
pretty easily. But I think it's actually very hilarious because my friend and I were on the mountain, the snowboarding mountain, Mount Snow in Vermont. And I was like, I don't have friends. And he was like, "What are you talking about? You always have friends. You have
Don't
people
have
around you all the
friends.
time." Well, no, I was like, it looks like because we were taking a selfie and it was just us. And I was like, "Look, it looks like we have friends." And he was like, "You have friends? You talk to people all the time." I'm like, "Do you know how many people I choose and want to call?"
Yeah.
Katie and others. Like, the list has gotten a lot smaller.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's those that have what I would call huge acquaintances.
Yes.
There are people that they can have a conversation with, they can meet socially, they, know enough about each other that when they see something that, oh, this makes me think of so and so, let me share it with them,
Yeah.
kind of deal. So there's a lot of people in our worlds that are on that level. Then there is the ones that you've been through the trenches with,
Yeah.
where you were there to support them, but also they were there to support you.
Yeah.
And because there's that stronger building of trust and respect, because of that, it builds a stronger relationship bond. And some relationships move to that level, some of them don't. Some of them will always stay surface level, but not surface level is a bad term. But we'll stay in that acquaintance. I'm comfortable hanging out with you in public, but I'm not going to invite you back to my house.
So let me add to that. I agree. So let me add. There's a list of those. Um, there, Les Brown, in one of his speeches, he talks about you have to have different types of friends.
Hmm.
and he explains the different groups of friends. He's like, there's some people that you talk about highly intellectual stuff with. There's a group of friends that it's all surface. We don't go anywhere deep, nothing politics. Nope, we just right on the
Right?
surface, perfectly fine. There's some, there's a group of friends, I'm quoting him, that I walk around the block and all we do is complain about losing weight and then never doing it. And that's just that we do a walk every week. And you just need that. You just need the
Right.
different types of friends. And I was like, yes,
Yes. And I love the fact that we have the capability now of having this clarification on the types of relationships that we have because this was not growing up common knowledge. It was you needed to be a friend and you have to be a friend this way. You had to be a friend for,
that sounds
your
like an
best
80s
friend
thing.
did everything.
That
Yeah,
sounds like
no,
an 80s thing.
dude, I was born in the 80s. Cut me some slack. I
I
am
was born in
old.
the 90s. That's why I'm saying that sounds like an 80s
Okay?
thing.
Your best you had one best friend who was your best friend for life and they stuck with you through everything. And if something happened and you lost that friend, it was devastating. It was the end of the world. And you had to learn how to start a brand new relationship from scratch. It was crazy.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at you like,
Yeah,
what?
I know. You're looking at me like I have three heads.
I
No, I had a friend in high school that was I considered my best friend. We had a major falling out. And like literally the graduating class split into two groups, her side and those who didn't care.
it got to the high school level.
It got to the high school level for that. That was a big old thing. Um, she and I didn't talk for years, ended up reconnecting for a little bit after graduation and hung out a handful of times, but it never, that trust that was broken in high school never really healed. And so the relationship never, when we reconnected, relationship never went past that surface level thing because I was guarding myself so much. And then now we haven't spoken in years now
Oh wow. Wow.
since then. So, but again, it's the dynamics and how I was trained to have communication in my relationships or the lack of communication in relationships is defined the way that I build relationships for most of my life. It's only the clarity that I have now that not every relationship has to go all the way down to the soul. I can have surface friends, those that I talk to on occasion. I can have friends that I talk this topic with or that topic with. And then I have the friends that I know I've been through the trenches with and I will be there for them and they will be there for me.
So let's go back to that. I hear that. Now it's interesting because you stemmed from a high school relationship,
Hmm.
and then we progressed down the timeline of these are the pockets of friends. I shouldn't use
Right.
that hand motion,
It
but
looks like Cookie Monster coming
yeah, exactly. I'm like I'm
around.
trying to, but I should probably use a different hand motion.
You're
But
fine.
or I could just keep doing it. Who cares?
Whatever.
Enjoy the motion to the ocean. So with that being said, so I was a floater in high school.
Hmm.
I was the friend that everyone could be friends with, but never did the drama. I was just like, oh, I'm here. Hi. Okay. Then the drama would happen and I would
Yep.
be not there. Just magically not there. Then I would come back because I would float to other friend groups in the different.
Hmm.
At the time, I think so. For me, my high school actually had a lot of there was a lot of suicide ideation. Like I remember in high school, everyone had suicidal thoughts. Just it was a common thing.
Right.
So I was just like, I didn't really think too much of that. I was more just like around the friends that needed the mutual support.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, regardless of what group you're in, at that time had that needed that support. So like I always felt like I could just float amongst
Right.
everybody because deep down I could sense who needed what. And not that I was just like, oh yeah, I'm perfect, I give you things. That's not what I'm saying, because I was hurting too. But it was just like one
Right.
of those things where I could go to somebody and I know we could connect on a deeper level, regardless if they were a jock, regardless if they were in musical theater, regardless if they needed help to pass the regular exam to pass high school. Like it was just didn't really matter. So because of that, I think that helped me stay away from all the drama. So I would just float
Yeah.
and get
And
inspiration.
and again, there's a difference in there's not a huge difference between us. I actually figured it out the other day. A little bit over a decade between us. And the differences of what I remember high school being very clicky and you stuck with your clique. You did not quote unquote cross contaminate.
So let me. Can I explain why that changed for my generation the decade later?
Of course.
High School Musical.
Yes.
That was
Yes, High School Musical did a fantastic job on breaking up the cliques.
so
It did.
that was why. I'm even turning red because I'm not joking.
But no, but again, the societal understanding of any kind of shift in the norm, funny enough, most of it stems from some piece of media.
Oh yeah, it's like I want to be a basketball player. I am one, and I'm a chef. Like just
Yeah, I mean it's insane. But I'm glad there's so much more awareness and there's more inclusion. I mean, granted, there's still some people who don't include everyone. But again, we're still learning, we're still evolving.
yeah, they're the Sharpays.
Yeah.
Oh my, I know. I'm like I'm expressing my double chin right now. I'm like hi, but with that. But it's a thing because I remember watching High School Musical in middle school. That's how
Hmm.
young I am. And then when I got to high school, that status quo thing was completely obliterated. It was just
Yeah.
gone. Like I was a cheerleader because I liked the sport. I was a
Hmm.
cheerleader, but I was like the emo cheerleader who 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 hung out with certain people, sang in choir, and then what else I did something. I did writing, and then I played lacrosse. Like I was just like I was
You
the
were a little bit of everything.
yeah, because you can be. And then honestly, it shows personality when you choose specific things that you like.
Yeah. And it was almost all or nothing. You were either a jock or you were a straight A student. There was very little blending of both that I recall. And now I could be wrong, but this is just what I recall. Then again, I haven't really spoken to most of the people that I graduated high school with, so I don't know how anyone's really doing in life right now.
Yeah, so we were just talking about our high school graduations and my sister. So my sister is 13 years older than me. She went to the same high school.
Hmm.
So it's funny when you see our tassels, you see 95, 97, 99, 10, which is really cool. But we were just talking about how like we haven't gotten to our high school graduations. There's not really a point
Yeah, no, I went to
for us.
I went to my 10-year high school reunion and was shocked on a lot of levels. One of them being that I had the oldest child because I got married at 19 and had Austin at 23, you know. And so I was on the playground with Austin, and somehow I ended up becoming the one who was watching all of the kids on the playground while all the other parents socialized
It
and
passes
stuff.
to you.
And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it part of me did not mind because I wanted to make sure that all the kids are safe and that Austin was safe. The other part of me was pissed because nobody asked.
Oh, they just gave you the
They
kids.
just gave me the kids. Nobody asked. They're like, "Oh, go over there. Miss Katie's over there. Go play." Yeah, no. So but again, most of the people who were at that high school reunion were the cliques that I didn't hang out with. So I
Yeah.
decided that's it. I'm not doing another family reunion.
High school.
High school reunion. Well, I might not do a family reunion either. It depends on the family at the time.
Honestly, my family's huge. Speaking of relationships, so my family is humongous.
Hmm.
So we actually keep track of our second and third cousins because part of my family is a political family in the Philippines, and I was the only. So I know my first. I have a lot of first cousins in the United States. I think I have about like 15 first cousins.
Wow.
Yeah, in the U.S., just U.S. First cousins. Now imagine that extending to second and third, right?
Yeah.
And then I know that I have maybe five, I know of 5 to 10 second to third cousins in the US.
Hmm.
So I go to my family reunion in the Philippines. I am the only American kid there. The only, I remember going up to the stage and saying, "Hey, can you speak in English?" And there was a stage because you know what? We were in this weird flight hangar thing. There were 300 of us under this flight hangar, second and third, and we were in clans. We had
Hmm.
4 clans under this umbrella of second and third first cousins with different color T-shirts depending on which fourth generation back ancestor that you were
Hmm.
branched out of. I was just like, oh,
Yeah, it's family reunions are their own different dynamic.
that's a
I've
different
had
relationship.
it's a completely different relationship. And I mean, my mom is the youngest of 4 girls. So the sister immediately older than her, Aunt Linda, had 2 daughters who were the same age. Well, one is the same age as me, the other one was a year older. And they lived the closest. They lived in North Carolina when we were growing up. So my mom, my sisters, and I would go down to Carolina and visit Aunt Linda and my cousins on a semi-regular basis. So we did have what I call a mini reunion of my mom, my sisters, Brian and Austin meeting up with Aunt Linda, Uncle Hugh, the cousins, their spouses, and their kids. And, so we did a week in the Outer Banks, North Carolina
Oh,
to
that's
kind of
nice.
catch up on all of that when I think Austin was maybe 8, 7, 8, something like that. So it was really cool to reconnect with everyone, but there hasn't been any additional investment in those relationships, even with I follow my cousins on Facebook. I talk to them occasionally through messengers and stuff, but the tight relationship that we had when we were younger, when we had more regular visits with them, did not grow into adulthood.
I get that. Like, to be honest, if my parents weren't or because my parents are around
Hmm.
and my mom casually said, "Hey, we're gonna go to the Philippines day 3. We're gonna go to a family reunion." right? Uh, casually.
Right.
I wouldn't have known. To be fair, it really is cool because when I meet my extended family members, it's kind of one of those things where they see me, we add each other on Facebook, Instagram, whatnot. I have a bunch of cousins my age, which is really fascinating. And I think about like 50 my age.
Mm-hmm.
And we just, it's as if like, oh, you're the new cousin. Come sit down, hang out. You eat the same food. So what do you do? How you doing? You have not married yet? It's okay. Blah blah. Just like kind of one of those.
Right.
It's so nice, but it's so fascinating because when I have those relationships, we just know we're family and we just kind of instantly trust each other, which is
Right.
really fascinating. I love it because you can see our family values across the clans.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool, actually.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different family groups acro everywhere where some of them have that kind of instant connection with family, other ones don't. And for those of us that
Yeah.
don't always have that, it's the learning of the communication. It's the learning of what our core values are. So then that way we can share them with our kids or with our siblings or with friends and then build a different type of community to
Right.
where we have that instant trust with somebody because we know that they have the same aligned values we do.
Oh yeah, Katie, imagine 50 of me, same height by the way. That's also rare too. Like it's actually very rare to find the average height for a Filipino female is like 4'10". So I'm a giant compared to like
Yeah.
like in the Philippines. But imagine like around my height there's 50 of me in different industries in 5 different continents
Yeah.
with different accents. The
And take it
Austria
over the world.
Pinky. Um, yeah, like when I met my Australian cousins, I was like, "Whoa, that's an
Yeah,
accent."
it's interesting to see how everyone evolves and shifts and everything else like that. And occasionally I joke about being a triplet. And the reason I say that is because the same year that I was born, I had two other female cousins that were born. We're all a few months apart because for some unknown reason, my mom and two of her sisters got pregnant at the same time.
Unknown.
Really,
Yes.
really funny. So all of us were born the same year. All of us are so incredibly different. I mean, one of them is um last I checked in with her, she's administrator in a healthcare system and is helping people get their lives back together and heal and doing great work in that field. The other cousin that's my age, she is like a three-time black belt martial artist instructor and like competes in Olympic level. I don't know if she's been to the Olympics, but I mean that like really high up level of competition in martial arts. She terrifies me because I know she could kick my butt. And then there's me, who's the one that got married right out of high school, had a kid, and is now a healer and a coach. So, I mean, it's just amazing how we all supposedly hung out together a lot when we were little because there was more flexibility in family visiting back then, before everyone had multiple kids and stable jobs, to all of us being so incredibly different now.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's just fun things to look at.
I love that because the cool thing is when I think about my giant extended family, everyone's like a high performer. They're all high
Hmm.
performers. So it's kind of, and we don't even look at that. There's like no competition in that. We get it. We all know that we can do a lot and create a lot and then excel. Like our standards are pretty high in whatever field we're in. It's just, and then we're all different regardless, but the level of value is still the same. And I think that's pretty incredible. And then that's how I feel with my friends. And then if there's a value that is missing, good portion of the time we're not friends for long.
Well, that's when they just fall underneath that category that it's acquaintance.
Yeah.
You know, it's still someone you can have a conversation with, but not that you're going to go camping with.
Oh, I don't even go there. It's just like they're not really in the radar. They were there for a specific lesson to reaffirm that's my value.
Right.
And then,
A reason or a season, and then thank you very much. We love you.
thank you so much for reconfirming with me that I value respect.
Yes. Very helpful.
Yes. And now we'll talk in another lifetime or something. I don't know.
But on that note, we are coming up on time.
Yes.
So very much appreciate everyone who hangs out with us. We love you guys very much.
I
And
love you so much.
it's midnight is still passed out.
This is the cutest. She's just out.
He's just out.
She's just out.
Everyone take care. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.